Welcome to TIMNA. Ito yung theater dito bago kami sumabak sa paglilibot sa loob ng TIMNA Park at masaksihan ang iba't ibang uri ng rock formations. Hello, Sissy Loves! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Imelda Tampos, caregiver dito sa Israel. For today's video, meron naman tayong dapat nating malaman na storya tungkol sa TIMNA, also known as TIMNA Park dito sa Israel. So, before we start, please subscribe my YouTube channel, like, and hit the notification bell para updated kayo lagi sa mga videos na aking i-upload. Okay, let's proceed! So, kanya-kanya na kaming pwesto at hinihintay namin ang pagsimula ng palabas. Ay, oo, sa may TIMNA Park. Bago kami lumibot sa TIMNA Park, ay pinasok muna namin ang theater doon para may idea na kami sa lahat ng rock formation sa loob ng TIMNA Park.
I am Earth. You walk on my surface. You extract treasures from within me. Here, in my depths of the Earth, from hundreds of millions of years ago, that was bubbling, bursting with life. Follow me to that era. From this boiling magma, molten rocks and new substance will be created, which will change human history. More than 540 million years ago, magma cooled to the depths of the Earth, forming ancient rocks. They were dotted with colored crystals of various minerals, and some of them contain one special element, which you will call copper. In the great plains of the Earth, the wind and the rain weathered and eroded the great rocks, exposing the copper ores to the world. Over many years, floods and storms swept and piled up stratas of terrestrial sedimentary rocks together with copper that was concentrated in the layers and cracks of these rocks. More and more layers of rock piled up, and the copper, it remained beneath them. And as if to hide it even more, the Tethys Ocean arrived and covered everything. The Tethys Ocean retreated, time passed, and here, in my depths, it was no longer possible to contain the heat and the raging compressed pressure. Mighty forces powerfully pushed forth mountains, which erupted and rose higher and higher, creating the special landscape formations you are familiar with in the TIMNA Valley. Consequently, the copper was exposed, waiting for you, humans, to find it. Many ages and eras passed discovered for the first time a solid yet malleable material that responds to your desires. You recognize the charm and uses of copper. It allows your tremendous creativity to break through and express itself. You didn't know it then, but a revolution began at that moment. You developed methods of mining more and more copper out of the rocks. Here in Timna, you quarried copper mines of the oldest in the world. With hard work under harsh conditions, while developing and perfecting mining and production methods non-stop, you produced the metal that changed you, your culture, and the whole world. Everyone wanted the right material for its power and capabilities. Trade caravans began to flow from the mines across deserts and seas to all corners of the ancient world. The coveted copper connected peoples and cultures and was used to make bronze, from which tools and weapons, parts of chariots, and various objects were cast. The pharaohs of neighboring Egypt also coveted the copper. They needed it to make hardware and weapons. They decorated their pharaonic palaces and temples with copper vessels. The metallic luster conveyed the sense of sanctity. Its beauty, power, and flexibility made copper a material through which you expressed spirit. The copper adorned and gave splendor to the houses of worship and was used in many ancient rituals. The copper-producing region of the land has undergone many hands. When the expeditions from Egypt stopped arriving, you, the people of the desert, continue to mine and extract the copper. In the vastness of the desert, the kingdom of Edom arises. And you, here with the copper from Timna, become part of it and a source of its wealth. And when King David conquered Edom, his son Solomon inherits his source of copper, as it is written. And King Solomon sent and fetched Hiram of Tyre, a coppersmith, and he was filled with the wisdom and understanding and skill to work all works in copper. And all these vessels in the house of the Lord, which Hiram made for King Solomon, were of bright copper. In the plain of the Jordan did the king cast them, and in the thick clay between Sukkot and Zarethan, the copper was used to build Solomon's temple and to adorn the tabernacle, which was the first permanent home for the worship of God. The glorious temple was a home to the one God, for in the time and location in which you developed the practice of copper, the belief in one God without a form rising from the desert also developed. As written in the Holy Bible, the Lord came from Sinai and dawned from Seir upon us. Even the great leader Moses, while leading the children of Israel in the wilderness on the way to the promised land, is commanded by God as narrated in the Bible. Moses set up the Mishkan. He spread the tent over the Mishkan, and he placed the cover of the tent over it from above. And later on, And the Lord said to Moses, "Make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole." And Moses made a copper snake. Judaism, Christianity, Islam emerged here. Religions that shaped the world spiritually, culturally, and politically. Generations and generations of different peoples and faiths returned here for copper. Nabateans and Romans, Byzantines, and the people of the early Islamic period. Copper, from the moment you discovered it, formed a revolution. And since then it has accompanied you, a partner in the development of your culture, science, and technology. Always necessary, always vital. The ability to discover, innovate, and invent has always characterized you, who walk on my surface. And copper has always been a key partner in your progress and creation. Both in the Industrial Revolution, the Information Revolution, and even today, it continues to be the material from which you produce inventions in the field of high-tech and technology, and it is part of your ability to develop and create the future. No wonder then that even after the establishment of the State of Israel, you returned to Timna following the copper. Again, the pounding sounds of the miners were heard, and again copper was exported from Timna all over the world. In the depths of Timna, fire and earth, wind and water met and formed copper. In Timna's landscape, man met copper, determination met creativity, and a revolution took place. I, Earth, in this place, have come to know about the nature of man and humanity. You are welcome to go out and discover the nature of Timna.
So mga kasisilabs, sana'y nagustuhan nyo ang video ito at nadagdagan na naman ang inyong kaalaman tungkol sa Israel. Inanyayahan ko kayong mag-subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell para updated kayo lagi sa mga videos na aking i-upload. God bless at kita-kits ulit tayo. Babush!